Here we go. Never far from a bloodstained paddle. Heading to the bar with my brothers holding hip to metal. I smell sinners and I swear I'm running out of cheeks. Father, forgive me, but my tolerance is getting weak. Should I flatten them out or should I take a shot? Bottoms up before I pile up some body parts. The devil's in the bottle, so I guzzle from a glass. With every sip, I feel like taking out the city's trash. A fitting job for a quad of rowdy dumpster babies. We cheat to death, it's only fair that we replenish Hades. Or we could pray to repent and let God sort them. I'd rather make them confess and go to war on them. Perfect setup for the proper sequel. It's proper PC Comics, Mary Boys, there is no equal. Despite our mother's worst intentions, yeah, we walk the valley and cast a shadow with death, the wickedness surrounding. Just want to go to the tavern and pound a couple lagers, but now my boots are painted red with sin and petals.
My name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons and their friends from X-FARCE. And introducing the Newt Mutants, beware the rest. Now, Parody Press Comics is back with X-FARCE Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full-color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tiers. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talents. Parody Press, making the world laugh again. Only on Indiegogo.
Hey everyone, good morning, good morning. How are you? I'm Don Chin. Welcome to another edition of Comics and Coffee. It's kind of a little drizzly morning here in the Pacific Northwest. Up in Northern California, we've had a little bit of rain, and but we need it, you know. Rain is good. It keeps everything green and clean. I hope you're doing well. This is the second show from my downstairs studio layout. I hope you guys like it. It's a little more spacious for me. And we have our, of course, the virtual fish tank going in the background. So before we start, I just want to say hi to the chat. I hope you guys are doing well. I see D-Wag is in the house. I think he was first. our good friend from, I think he's out in Indiana. So looks like it's really cold out there. William from Creators Outlet, hail to you, my friend. B Rose is also here in the audience. He's got a campaign called Cerebrum, which is currently on Indiegogo. Definitely check it out. I think he's doing a lot better than he anticipated, which is also very cool. I feel like I need to be taller, but for some reason my chair doesn't go up any higher than this. So maybe I need to adjust the camera so I don't feel like I'm talking over the credit thing. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit better. Let's see. Abo Grizzly, how are you guys doing? From our friends in Texas, Mo and Joe. And we also have Marvin Wynn from Pittsburgh area. He actually collaborates with our faithful moderator Herrenberg on projects. They live out in the Pittsburgh area. Marvin's got a book called The Edge that he's doing, which I think when he does his next campaign, we'll have him on. It'd be great. Bow to you, Mr. B. Rose. We have Mr. Von Stugel also in the audience. Thank you. I have to ask you what Bandmaid is. It sounds like a female rock group or something like that. Interesting icon, Mr. Von Stugel. All right. So today we have a couple of creators that I have not met before. So this is exciting to me because I always like to learn what people are doing. And we have Joshua, or JP, he says he can be called. He's from Raiden Radio. That's his moniker on Twitter. And he's been doing books, he said, since 2018, which is cool. We'll get to talk to him about that. And he's got a book currently on Indiegogo called NOIRLEM. I think that's the way that you pronounce it. And we're going to look at that. We're going to play his trailer later on. And then we have Cody from IRONS Comics, and he's got a Western book out. He's been doing this for a while. I think he's on issue number 4. It's called Jack Irons. So this is going to be interesting because we've got two kind of radically different subject matters, I should say. One is more like a hard-boiled detective set in the 20s, in Harlem. And the other one is like out in the Wild Wild West, which is cool. So before we get started, I want to say thank you to Christian Rossi and Lucifer Storm. They fulfilled Ed Gein, Demon Hunter. And I read it and I posted a little review on it on my Twitter. It's really good. It's definitely not for kids, but if you like kind of creepy horror, it's almost like, I think I said, it's almost like what if the Screw Tape Letters met Hellboy? And it's a real fun book, and you can still get it from our friends Lucifer Comics at, I'm not sure what the name of his company is, but we'll have him on one of these days. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our buddies, Josh and Cody. Hey, Josh, good morning.
Hail to you, sir.
How are you?
I'm good. Do you have your coffee for Comics and Coffee?
I do. I've got my mug. It's a red. Have you ever been on Red Valkyrie show before?
Yes, and I have that mug.
You do? Awesome. Yes.
Does it change colors? Oh no, I don't think I have. I have the one that it changes colors when it heats up. Oh, cool. You got the upgraded one. I think I traded Cy and Shay an X-FARCE mug for a Red Valkyrie mug. So nice.
I'm gonna have to complain to customer service. I didn't get the iridescent one.
They are the best of people.
It would be better if they showed like this version iridescent, but as you pour the coffee, the bikini comes off.
Like those pens?
Yeah. Yeah, those pens when you were in school where you would have the lady and you tilted it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're bad. We're bad. All right, well, let's bring in Cody as well. This is going to be an irreverent stream already, I can tell. Cody, good morning.
Howdy, folks. How are you doing?
Oh, I like your energy, man.
Thank you very much.
Have you been drinking coffee?
Yes, caffeine's finally hit, and I have indeed. Got a Punisher crew mug from back in the day. That's what I got.
Nice, man. Cody, where are you from?
I'm from the Southern Rockies up in northern New Mexico.
All right. Cool. How long have you lived out there?
My whole life.
Your whole life. Okay, cool. You even got the drawl, the kind of the Western accent going.
A little bit of that's branding, a little bit of that's just where I am. This is true.
Nice, man. So now, Josh, you're up in Washington, you said, correct?
Yep.
But you're originally from Philadelphia,
I'm a Philly boy.
Yeah. Do you still follow all their teams?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm born and bred.
Phillies fan and 76ers. Is that the basketball team?
Yeah. Not so much on the hockey, but definitely go Birds.
Okay, cool. And Cody, what are your do you have any sports teams you like?
No, not particularly. New Mexico's not that well known. We don't have any pro that I'm aware of. We've got college, right? We've got some college sports.
You got the Lobos.
But, yeah, exactly. We've got the Lobos, but that's about it. I never was not much of a sports guy. I'm a big nerd.
All right, no worries, guys. Well, let's go ahead and give you guys about 20 plus minutes each to kind of tell us about your current campaign and what else you've been up to. So we'll go with Josh first. So Josh, I'm going to bring up your campaign on Indiegogo. I'm going to share it real quick. But in the meantime, why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and kind of what you got into comics?
Well, let's see here. A couple of years ago, I graduated from University of Oregon, so I did the whole like immersing yourself in classic literature and studying all that. And when I came out of it, I just kind of wanted to make comic books,
Okay.
Comics are, just as valid as any other piece of literature. And it just seemed like the perfect fit for my style of writing. I mostly studied, literature and creative writing. And when I applied that to the comic book, it was like the perfect fit. So I started making comics. I did Eudaimonia 1 and 2. It's like they're kind of World War I war stories. Moved immediately into a book called How to Die, which is like a superpower horror kind of a book. So something in the vein of like, well, I don't want to say in the same vein, but it was heavily inspired by the Max.
Okay.
And when I finished up with that, I just kind of started focusing my energy on like 1920s Harlem and noir detective thrillers and murder mysteries. And this is what came out of it. So it's the shortest elevator pitch in the world. It's NOIRLEM. Noir plus Harlem equals NOIRLEM. It's a 90-page murder mystery set in 1920s old New York.
And so you've got a Canaan white cover, which never do wrong. Do you have more than one cover or just this one?
I actually did have a cover that I have a cover that's going to end up being unused because I ended up redesigning the character to be a little bit younger. But yeah, so it's a single cover. I never really had a lot of luck doing multiple covers or variants on campaigns. So try to keep things as basic and simple as I can. So yeah, it's a one cover shot.
Okay. So 90 pages, that's quite a big undertaking for a book, and it's pretty reasonably priced.
I mean, 90 pages, that's how long it took me to write what I thought was a really compelling mystery. That's just, I don't want to leave any loose ends. I don't want to leave anything unexplored. So that's how long it ended up being. So that's how long the book had to be. Okay.
And I think you're going with an artist with watercolors, which is cool, right?
Yep. Marianne Yasser. She's the MVP of the book. I just got some new colors in. They're stunning as every page is just like gorgeous to me.
Does she work like totally traditional? So this is all original physical artwork, or?
So, okay, I made that trailer that says beautifully watercolored, and I thought like a third of the way into the book that she was doing everything by hand, but this is actually digital.
Wow.
She's just
very impressive.
Those effects are just amazing to me.
Where did you find her?
I found her, I think it was on Reddit. I spend a lot of time doing what I would call like artist speculating, where I don't just go in and look at a portfolio. I'll have them do a page to like audition, and I'll pay them for it, obviously. But I spend a lot of time kind of poking around and trying different artists until I find one that works.
Okay. So on is it Eudaimonia? Eudaimonia? Who was your artist on that?
That was Emmy Utrera. We have since moved on from one another.
Okay, no worries. So I think I looked at your past campaign on that. Was that more than one issue?
Yeah, there were 2 issues in that.
Okay, gotcha. So is NOIRLEM self-contained, or do you plan to do like ongoing detective stories? Or
You know what? There's so much fun that when I got to the end of when I finally had the first one done and polished and written, I immediately just started planning the second one. I already have the second story about halfway written. Um,
okay,
it's such a fun world to be in, to kind of play around with tropes of like noir and detective and the 1920s and Harlem with all the art movements going on. It's such a vibrant world that I didn't want to leave, and so I just kept the train going. And yeah, there's going to be more after this one.
awesome, bro. So on your Indiegogo campaign, which I put the link in the YouTube video description. So if you folks want to back this, which I strongly encourage, as well as Cody's book, which we're going to look at in a little bit, you can just click on the Indiegogo link. And I think Mr. Von Stugel kindly posted that link as well. Are you in demand right now, or are you still?
No, it's in demand.
Okay. So when is it supposed to come out, Josh?
I would say the book is probably going to be done in the next month and a half, and then it's going to be, start working on the print file, and then it's going to be off to the publisher.
Okay. So just so you folks know, at 9:45, which is in about a half hour, we're going to have the Quacky Quiz, and Cody and JP have both graciously allowed us to give away copies of their digital book. So you're going to get your chance to either win Eudaimonia #1 or any one of Cody's, I think, Jack Irons 1 through 3 in digital format. So stick around. The questions aren't going to be too hard, but I will tell you that on the screen right now, the trivia question for Josh's book is in this. It's related to one of these titles that he's got here. So, Josh, what? I mean, obviously, you're showing us what inspired you to do this, but was there any particular movie or comic book that really kind of inspired you to try your hand at doing kind of a retro detective book?
Honestly, it's one that's not on here, but it's a Australian murder mystery show called Miss Fisher's Murder Mysteries, about a kind of gallivanting socialite becoming a lady detective. It's just such a stylized show. That was definitely a big inspiration. But as far as the story, the actual like murder mystery story, it's a lot closer to Seven than any of those on there.
Okay.
As far as there being like a serial killer and 2 detectives and how they play off of each other, and kind of pushing each other towards finding the solution.
Okay. So Josh, I have 2 questions for you. A, what does eudaimonia mean? And also what is the, why do you call yourself Raiden Radio?
So eudaimonia is from ancient Greek philosophy. It means the good life, the life that is worth aspiring to have despite all of the inevitable trials of life. So we go out in the world and we get knocked down, we get beaten, we get dragged through the mud. If we still find meaning on the other side of that and have a meaningful life, that's eudaimonia. And so that's what I'm always aspiring for.
I like that.
Raiden Radio is actually something I came up with like, I don't know, 15 years ago when I wanted to be a disc jockey, and I named my YouTube channel after it.
Okay.
So if you look on my channel, you'll find like videos from like decades or more than a decade ago that have like 100K views. And I was just like, well, this channel has all the views on it, so I'll just stick with it.
Okay. So is Raiden, are you like a Mortal Kombat fan? Is
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So
I love fighting games.
What do you think of I mean, are you playing like all the latest Mortal Kombats, or are you kind of old school?
No, I'm like I'm almost strictly retro.
Okay. Is that your go-to character, is Raiden?
Oh man, let's see here. Sorry, you just got me thinking about, because I used to do competitively like tournaments
Oh,
every
really?
now and again.
Wow.
I mostly mained Cyrax and Scorpion.
Okay. Yeah, Scorpion's pretty much everyone. I think
Yeah.
everybody likes that.
Well, it's the one you can spam.
You're really diverse in what you're putting out. I mean, it's like I would not be able to predict what Joshua was going to come up with next, because you have everything from World War II to Harlem, and then How to Die, you said, is more like a superhero.
Yeah, it's like a horror. It's the basic idea is that people obtain superpowers if they are basically like the dregs of society. So like homeless people and drug addicts and crazy people. So it's basically, what if like the people at the lowest rungs of society became gods instantly? Like how would that play out in the world? Like instead of it being like the best and the brightest and the fittest, what if it was just like nothing but like
everyday people?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it pretty violent? It looks like it's pretty
it's mature.
And then is eudaimonia for all ages, or would you say it's more of a adult film?
I would say it's definitely not for kids, but it is for mature readers. I would say teen plus.
Okay. I want to share your YouTube channel real quick. And are you kind of broadcasting regularly on that, or just kind of as the inspiration strikes?
Yeah, we had Cody on last week. We have a weekly show. It's a lot of fun. It's we just talk comics, and then we play a round of top 5, which I always have fun with. I don't know. Cody, maybe you could speak to what you think of my show.
Oh, I had a blast. If folks want to go check out that replay, as long as it's still up, right? And we pulled up some kind of crazy shenanigans, enjoyed each other's musical tastes. It was a heck of a stream. He gives you a little bit of homework, so prepare for that. But I think it leads to a much better guided stream, and I really appreciated my experience on it.
Gotcha.
And then I do like kind of weekly video essays every now and then, like the Cautionary Tale of Comicsgate one.
Okay, I hit your subscribe button, guys. So let's try to get Josh up to like 200 subscribers. Give him the. We don't have a Bancroft boost here. I have to figure out some kind of catchy name for that. But so Josh, you've been doing this channel for how long now? It looks like you got quite a bit of videos on here.
Yeah, I've just been, kind of finding my voice and playing around with lots of different subjects, and I think I'm starting to find it, but I basically just make videos on whatever interests me at the time. Like if a topic just, something that grabs my attention.
This looks very interesting. Terry Crews, get in shape in just 7 billion steps. That looks funny. I have to watch that later. So on NOIRLEM, Josh, what would you recommend people get bang for their buck?
Let me see here. So if you're interested in getting every book I've ever gotten, I have exactly one Eudaimonia Comics bundle that has everything. This is it for Eudaimonia 1 and 2. I have no more physical copies left after this, just one. I would recommend just getting a copy, that simple $25 Just the Facts Ma'am tier, and enjoying a good old fashioned murder mystery, and watches 2 characters that previously didn't exist, watching them develop before your eyes on the page, and look forward to their next adventure.
Okay, awesome. What is next for you after this?
Too much. I'm working on. I just started a brand new IP. I'm going to be streaming every part of that writing process on my channel. I did the first one this past week. It's going to be Old West gunslingers versus early mobsters in Chicago. Let's see here. How to Die #2 will be coming next, and then Eudaimonia 3 is already written. So there's a lot on the table, and I try to keep myself busy.
Wow. So are you planning like your goal like a couple books a year, or do you try to?
I'd like to, yeah.
Yeah. Nice, man. So what comic books did you enjoy what kind of got you into the whole medium?
I would say it was, well, I mean, I read them as a kid. The one that kind of grabbed me and stuck with me would be like the old Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, the Max. Trying to think what else. Like Ditko, Kirby. Like I'm just a lover of the classics mostly.
Okay, you sound like you're kind of more of a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. The Max is interesting because I used to work with Sam Keith. Was there something? I mean, was it the artwork or the writing that kind of drew you into that?
It was definitely the artwork, but it was also definitely how the story is. The story is innately human and relatable, even though that's what I find fascinating about comics is how it is the super, the magnificent, the outstanding. But at the end of the day, it's really telling stories that it's really what we see in those stories that makes them so enjoyable to me. So is the Max just a character exploration of people working out their problems? That's the kind of stuff that like just kind of grabs me.
Awesome. Well, you have good taste, my friend. It's so cool that you guys know each other. I was going to ask if you did, and here you have already done streams and pretty recently with one another. So
Cody's out there grinding.
Yeah, let's get Cody up in the driver's seat. I'm going to stop sharing this campaign, and then we'll talk about jack irons. And I switched out our background to give us some jack irons vibe. So what's your cat's name?
This is Midnight.
Oh, she's cute. A boy or girl?
She is very cute. I agree.
Oh, that's nice. So yes. So Cody, let's talk about you, my friend. You've been grinding at this. I mean, I just taking initial glance at your campaign and artwork. I'm just like going, wow, this guy's got some professional chops going as well. So kind of tell us about your background.
Let me correct that. My team has professional chops. I fly by the seat of my pants, and I do my best to make sure I continue working with such wonderful talents. But so I've been at this. So Jack at itself, I've been at it for like 16 years. Jack was like a really foundational kind of project for me as I was growing up, and I've stuck with it because the resonance and ideas within it haven't changed. They've just been able to be explored, right? And so we've been publishing Jack and getting it shipped internationally since about I would say late 2018. I started crowdfunding it early 2018, and we've just been grinding at it for quite a bit of time. The elevator pitch for Jack, the quick one line is a reincarnated mortal seeks freedom and purpose in galactic Armageddon. So it's I'm trying to communicate a lot of like big things to get the imagination moving, because most likely we're going to cover whatever your imagination kind of hits with those themes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of the one line, but really it's an adventure tale. It's a Western tale. It's a science fiction tale. It's a fantasy tale. It's a whole lot of stuff, but it's everything I ever wanted out of a comic. It's a project that myself and my team have kind of needed over the years for various reasons. And it's been something that we've been blessed to see so many people resonate with and want to support. And well, we're out there doing it again because the last few years have been a grind, and we were able to get everything out. And the time is now. The time is now.
Gotcha. So it's not taking place on Earth. It's more of a space fantasy, sci-fi Western.
It's a post-apocalyptic sci-fi Western. So it does take place on Earth, Jack Irons in particular. Ironverse Comics is galactic. That's why I use the term Galactic Armageddon so much. Also because I'm trying to communicate, the ideas of the cosmos and these greater, larger things. Franchises people might get what we're kind of working at. It's kind of Samurai Jack meets Warhammer 40K, starring the man with no name, directed by Terry Gilliam. That's like the best way I could describe what I'm doing specifically with Jack Irons within Ironverse Comics. But it also kind of explains what Ironverse Comics is.
Nice.
The tagline for Ironverse Comics is when reality belongs to evil, heroes are inevitable. And that kind of underlines every beat that we're doing with Ironverse Comics, what we're trying to, the stories we're trying to tell, and honestly, what the project is trying to help facilitate in this crazy space.
It's cool. So you have the name the Steel Cowboy. Is he part robotic or cybernetic or something, or?
No, and I can see, and it's come up. People do think that. I'm fine with that because I wanna continue to surprise people. But no, it's more of almost a knighthood, an armor. It's supposed to communicate a bit more of like almost rugged nobility in that flavor. That's the Steel Cowboy bit. The third page of issue 1 kind of puts the mission statement of all things are endless. Tenacity will get you through anything, which has been a big running line through our project here. And then ain't no harm in having a healthy sense of the dramatic. And that's part of the latter. So he wears the armor as kind of a communication and a reminder to himself. It's the same reason he rides a motorcycle, not quite drawn by horses, but that thematically communicates that kind of bit where he has a steel horse and he has literal steel horses in front of him. Gotcha. It's just it's having fun in insanity is a lot of what we do.
I love the logo that you have, and that I was going to ask you, Cody, when I look at your book, I feel like I'm playing Borderlands, the video game Borderlands. It has kind of that look to it. And actually, now that I'm looking at your artist, I'm going, man, this guy's kind of like a Kenneth Roquefort type of vibe as well. It's so detailed, and the colors are, tell us about your creative team. Who are your artists and your colorists and the lettering? It's all, very, very nice.
So I've been working with this talent, Maximiliano Dallo, for about 7 years now. That's when we kind of met. We were able to meet through Craigslist in my hometown. He's an Argentinian talent, but somehow he ended up being around here when I was looking to dive into comics, which is just wonderful. Some things were so fortuitous. So we've been working about 7 years. I think I met him when he was 21. I was 23. So he's grown a lot since we've been working together. Folks may know some of his work. He's worked with Gifted Rebels, Adam Lawson. So he did a short in Kill Journal. I did as well. He did Kids and Monsters. He's the line artist on Kids and Monsters with Mike Spicer on colors in that case. He's worked with the Diaz brothers on the Lost Pages, if I remember correctly. He's been around. Tales from the Classroom, people might remember. Stephen Cannon is our colorist. We've been working with him since issue 2. He did all the colors in Kill Journal. He did colors for, I want to say, a short in Monster MD. They've been around. Now Steve's on a monthly. In fact, both Steve and Maxie work together, and I think I know where this publisher found them. Through Heavy Metal. They produced about a 6-page short, I believe, in Heavy Metal number 304, I want to say, which was really cool to see them get published there and be in that magazine, even though it's maybe a different flavor than it used to be. I still think there's a bit of legacy there that I like. Sure. And then there's, so we've been around, and working real hard. And Jack's been a wonderful vehicle to dive into the comics community. It's been crazy how there's, I'm going to use the word, how diverse of a crowd we've been able to reach. Spectrums from all over the industry, both within and without, both new and old, have enjoyed our work quite a bit. And it's been a blessing because I've been able to get a crash course education over these last 4 years in every aspects of comics. And I'm only able to because of wonderful folks like yourself and chat, allowing me to learn these lessons at your expense. But you do get rewarded. You do get rewarded. You get excellent professional level comics, if I do say so myself. And it's a story you won't find anywhere else that would never be published. It's crazy.
I have to explore this, Cody, because you don't hear I met my artist on Craigslist very often. So is your artist actually like in your geographic location? Do you can actually like meet with him in person, or is he still in Brazil, or?
Oh, so he's still in Argentina right now. So he has family in Santa Fe, just south of me, and he has friends up here because Santa Fe and Taos, very similar artistic communities, and just a lot of like. Taos is small, but has a lot of like artsy fartsiness. Santa Fe is very large and has a lot of artsy fartsiness. So it's kind of they communicate and kind of synergize off of each other. Maxi has done Argentina doesn't have a comics industry. It has a lot of beautiful talents who love comics, but doesn't have the industry background. So he had started in children's books doing down there because that's what you can get published, and he was doing teaching as well. Then he was doing freelancing for a storyboard company for a production company up in Santa Fe. And that's kind of what brought him to this area, meeting and kind of that, besides the family bit. And then it just happened to be the right timing. And I had been kind of sick of, I don't know, again, I dove in headfirst into comics production. I have no idea what I was doing, what budgets would be, any of these things. I was just like, I have this idea that's been cooking forever. And once again, it was the call to action that I had. It was like, now's the time. The things have lined up. Now's the time to try. So I had tried a lot of different art avenues through the internet to meet artists, and every artist I had met through that had kind of ghosted me, didn't help me along, didn't teach me anything, just kind of like stopped talking. And so eventually I was like, well, I'm in an artistic area. Let me try something more personal where I can at least meet the person and then guarantee I'm going to learn something. Right. And so that's what I did. I was like Craigslist, because I had a lot of decent exchange with just selling and buying things off of it around here. It's not, again, it's a smaller area, so it's not as risky as say doing like Craigslist in Los Angeles back in the day. Right. So it sounds crazy. I love the story for that. I mean, we met in a McDonald's also, and like I shared my really amateur scripts, which I'm still pretty sure they're pretty amateur. And then he shared his beautiful portfolio, and we got to talking. We discussed budget, and then the next time we met, he showed up with wonderful like character designs and or his designs off of my really rough inked little sketches, and then we just clicked on it and we decided to try it on out. And then once issue one's line art was done, I thought I could learn lettering real quick and that it was an easy gig. Again, I had no idea what was going on. I did very poor lettering. And from there, I had a platform to share the work and let the work talk for itself. And eventually we found a letterer who's like, I love all this, but please let me letter it because it is terribly lettered. And I'm like, what? It's not that bad. And then I really looked at it. I was like, yeah, it's terrible. So he went ahead, lettered it. And then in 2018, there was that boom of awareness on indie comics where folks were hungry for new material, something different, but still loved comics. And they wanted to give new people a good chance at doing this. And it's just timing. It was just timing. And we were producing something that was unique and was quality. And people recognized it, supported it, and have continued to for the last few years. And we've been able to go on a crazy ride together.
Cody, let me ask you, what's your background? Because the packaging, obviously you and Josh both have professional graphic design. You can just look at both of your products that you've done, and I'm impressed. They look really good. Are you a graphic person, or what's your vocation?
So what I actually do is I work at a pet resort. I run like dog play groups, and I make sure that animals are taken care of, right? But myself, what I do for this is I learn. That's my job with this project, and that's what's been my job forever. I don't have any I'm self-taught on everything. I started off in music. I was in a metal kind of punky metal band for years before I did comics, and I went from that to this, and I've just always been like, the information and knowledge is out there. You just gotta seize it and take the time to learn it. So that's how I've approached this the whole time. I don't have a graphic design background. I usually I could say I go out and find people. Most of the time they find us, and then I just make sure that they are able to join our team and are taken care of for their very quality work. So what you're seeing on the issues 1 through 3 there is Nico Buffo. He's another Argentinian artist, graphic designer who has been working with us for the last 2 issues to really standardize our trade dress look and just kind of help clean things up, and doing some of the extras gallery and stuff, because we've gone through different phases. I've had different people do them, and you can see if you look at our original printings of 1 and 2, and then the reprintings and such, we've evolved quite a bit as we've contacted the right people and made the right rhythms and all of that great stuff. And we formed a wonderful, quite a few talents work with us, and I'm blessed to work with every single one of them. They've never disappointed us, from our beautiful pinup artists, which we always try to source from around the community, to the teams on our multiple titles that we work on. It's just crazy. It's just crazy.
Good, Cody. Can I ask you, who does these animations on your website? They're pretty cool.
So that is the wonderful Mrs. H. We've been starting to do that. I approached it like, so we're stagnant, basically. Like, we can release about an issue a year because of, one, the budget and the time constraints that it takes, and that our talents are working on multiple things at a time. So trying to keep the fire under it, which I've noticed we had a harder time this last couple of years. It can be tough. So one of the things I was looking for, and have been forever, I just didn't know what the budget would be or any of that, is somebody to do those kind of, some people brought up, again, the Max. I love Sam Keith so much. The cartoon kind of had that feeling to it, that had that little motion comic feeling to it, where something slightly moves. And so that's what we've been doing with the wonderful Mrs. H. She works on a comic called Captain Orange. It's kind of a goofy, all ages sci-fi tale, but she's done a lot of other stuff. But yeah, I just had asked, again, what I usually do is just kick it out into the ether and see what comes and feels right. I had asked to see like what kind of animators were out there, and on Twitter is my main platform, right? And we got some responses, and she had been a fan for a while, and I liked her attitude, how she like promotes herself, what she engages with, and we just gave it a try, and we produce about 2 of those a month. It has been the goal, and then I use them for marketing and such, and wonderful.
So Cody, ironversecomics.com, that's the website that I'm showing right now. So it says free read. So what happens if someone goes to your website? Will they get a little mini preview of your book, or a full issue, or what do you got going here?
So since the beginning, and again, how we got awareness was offering all of issue number 1, and that in the first case in black and white, because we didn't have a colorist. That was never the original intent when we started crowdfunding, was to share that, because our work is so esoteric. It's so like, it's very specific, and it's hard to communicate outside of itself. Again, I have to use big general terms to even get like an idea close to what we're trying to do. And so we've always had an access point, an easy access point. So you go to ironversecomics.com, you click on that free read, you get to read all of issue number 1 off of Global Comics. I recommend them very highly. Great profit share between creators, huge support network for creators. They're the most creator-focused digital hosting platform out there, as far as I'm concerned. Wonderful CEO, but bunch of really cool folks. So that's where you can get there. If you're kind of a manga fan, I don't know how many folks in your chat are. We have a second title that we released called Quacky Coyote. That's right under it. So if you're interested there, you can read that off of Medibang, and it takes place about 20 years after the Jack storylines that we're working on right now, and you can kind of see the greater galactic picture that we're building with Ironverse Comics if you dive into Quacky Coyote.
Okay, so the first 3 issues, if you want, you can go to Ironverse Comics and check them out. And so, how many books have you done now, Cody? It seems like you've done more than just Jack Irons.
So we've got a lot of titles in production. We just added another recently. I've been trying to figure out how. So since I did Jack, Ironverse Comics, before it was named, when I did Jack, the original idea was just to approach this greater, I'm going to call it Galactic Armageddon kind of concept from a bunch of different angles. And Jack was the original one, the one that I felt was most human, and the one that I needed to explore personally. But there was a couple others I really wanted to explore, and those have kind of sat in script form for quite some time. I've tried to kickstart them a couple times. Hasn't happened yet. But then as we've kind of grown and got awareness, some other wonderful talents have found me and wanted to create within the playground that we've been building. And if you count those, Quacky Coyote, he's my co-editor. Dollar Coins is the moniker he takes, the mangaka takes. And so he's been helping build and structure Ironverse into something more reasonable. And we also added, and I'm just going to talk about the stuff that's actually in production, just announced yesterday, and both Quacky Coyote has a 16-page actual Western comic ashcan that will be included digitally with issue number 4, however you snag it. And then there's a 5-page preview to another title that's in production with another creator called The Recluse. And
wow.
I'm really excited for that one. I've been previewing that a little bit. It's from a creative team that's keeping a little secret. We've been keeping this one under our hat, trying to use it a little bit as I don't know, a little bit of lighter fluid to throw on our on issue 4's campaign to keep it burning, keep it moving. And so if folks are curious, just kind of keep up the updates for The Recluse. I did post an update with the cover and stuff recently in the Go-Go campaign. So if you want to check out updates, you'll see of the main character of that. So right now there's 3 titles in like direct production. With The Recluse and Cactus Coyote actually included digitally, and combined will be about a whole nother 21 pages with issue number 4, however you get it. We do physical, but we're waiting to see if we can fund, and then we'll look at the crazy things, the more crazy things already insane.
So Cody, are you doing like it sounds like you're doing how many books a year, kind of on average?
Right now, so personally, 1 book a year if I can. Issue 3 took a little bit longer because of the craziness that has been the last couple of years. But that's always been the hope, is about 1 book a year for me. We could up production significantly. However, again, it's funding, and then the campaign trail that actually takes the most time. And then of course finding the right harmony for all the team to be able to work together, for the band to be back together and play, right? That's been an issue. However, that can always be solved with more funding, right? We got the background. It's finding the energy to actually manifest this work that has always been the difficult part for our work. So that's the limiting factor. At peak production, if somehow we had the funding limits, we could probably produce an issue. Actually, it would be a book every month, but it would be like a Jack Irons every 2 months, and then the other title would be every other month. That would be the goal. That would be the dream, right? But
we had a comment. Apex says that your book reminds him of Mike Mignola. Do you see that at all?
Yeah, so Maxie has a little bit of that. If you look at the double-page spread that he produced that's on the campaign page, he's got a little bit of that in the lower right-hand corner with the horse. He likes to use negative space a lot, and so does Mignola, and he likes some heavy inks where everything's in shadow and then the background's bright. He's got so many wonderful influences. There's a bit of Frank Miller. James Herron is a big influence on his work. A lot of people compare him to Daniel Warren Johnson, but I think they're taking from the same inspirations, and I think that's why. Otomo, the Akira mangaka, is a big influence for Maxie. Just a lot of excellence, and again, this is a privilege to work with the man.
Nice. And I think we got a backer, General Piggy. I'm not sure. I think that might be a new backer for you, number 83. So.
Well, yeah, it's very likely. It's very likely. Either way, I've seen General Piggy around. Thank you so much for your support, and thank you for your backing. And I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on our little Galactic Armageddon.
Awesome. So it looks like you're in your second. Oh, that's our time for our quiz, which we'll get to in just a minute. So you still have about 35 days left, right?
Yes, we're grinding there. 35%. I know it's a massive goal, folks, but we can only do it if you take the risk on us, and we've pulled it through every time. And this is what we need to produce the book. It's just kind of how things are. We're producing at a professional level, so we paid professional page rates.
Great. Well, Dark Gift, he's one of my mods. If you want, NOIRLEM was the other book that Joshua was pitching, but we're going to play the trailers for both the books right now because it's time for the Quacky Quiz. So let me just get the Quacky Quiz screen up here for a second. And so you guys can participate in the questions that aren't related to your book. So Cody, if you know Josh's question and Josh, you know Cody's question, you can win each other's books, unless you already know you have each other's books. So, okay.
I do not have Josh. I need to fix that. I need to fix that.
All right, here's the Quacky Quiz promo. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to play Josh's NOIRLEM trailer first, and there's going to be a trivia question that's going to be on the screen. And so the first person in the chat that answers it correctly will win a copy of Josh's previous book, Eudaimonia. So let me go ahead and get this all ready for you guys, and we'll play the trailer for NOIRLEM. All right. So I flashed that question. You seem to be a fan of the cello, Josh.
Yes, unabashedly so.
Because I saw the cover to Eudaimonia. You have the girl playing the cello in the middle of like a war scene, right?
Yeah, I'm absolutely going to start the cello verse, but it's only going to be for those who pick up on the thematic element of it.
Awesome. Do you play? Are you a musician?
I was a drummer back in the day, but I ran a record store for about half a decade. I just love music.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have to have a music show one of these days and just have people share their favorite bands. I'm pretty eclectic as well. I'm sure Cody looks like he likes to rock out as well.
Yes.
Okay, so the question was relating to the movie The Untouchables, which was one of Josh's inspirations for NOIRLEM, and I think Chris was the first person to answer it right. It was Elliot Ness was the main hero in that movie. So Chris, I think Chris has won a few times lately. So we're gonna hook you up, Chris, with a copy of Eudaimonia from Josh. And Josh, thank you for contributing that. Can we still pick up Eudaimonia just on your NOIRLEM campaign? Is that the only place?
There's a digital library where you get every book I've ever made, which is at this point more than 200 pages for $30.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So Chris, congratulations. We've got a couple of new people in the chat. Nefarious has joined us a little late. Better late than never, Neff. And we have it's Danny in the chat. Danny is here. Do you guys familiar? Are you familiar? Danny is here. He's here to torment us. He's trying to do the right thing, but he's not a big fan of the Crack Pack, which is what we all are affiliated with over here.
Is it Danny or is it Dan?
Either one. Well, there's two different ones. We might have to have a Danny off. Nefarious says he's the main inspiration. Is that correct?
I mean, open interpretation is a thing. So if that's what he believes,
he identifies as a black detective in the 20s. All right, good for you, Nefarious.
You can be whatever you want to be.
It's true. It's true.
Even though he looks like Anthony Mackie, he says. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and play Josh's. Let's play Cody's fun Jack Irons trailer. So get ready for the trivia question, guys. All right. Cool trailer. Hey, I see some people commenting in the chat, but they're not getting the right. It's got to be a combination of both the actor and the character. Oh. So we'll give them a couple. We'll give them a couple more minutes to see if they can figure it out. You can't just name like Doc Holliday or Wyatt Earp. It has to be both the character and the actor. So if you want to Google it, I won't. Oh, wait a second. Wait, no. I think Elliot was first. Let me look at the chat real quick. Was it? Well, Pop said Ringo and Michael Biehn, but I think Elliot was a little bit quicker. It was Wyatt Earp and Kurt Russell. So, Elliot, congratulations, buddy. I think you were the first, unless someone wants to correct me. Danny said, I hope it's not crack iron.
It's not. I'm sorry.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I think Elliot won. Good job, Elliot. You're going to get your choice of jack irons 1 through 3. So let us know, and I'll hook you up with Cody.
Please do, Elliot. If you don't already have all 3, I believe he might. He did a beautiful, even colored it, fan art piece of Jack not too long ago. Very, very grateful for that. So if there's something else I can hook you up with you don't have, brother, also let me know.
Okay. And we have a question from our musician in the chat, Dark Gift. He said, who did your music for your trailer?
That is the wonderful Laguna Munta. He was the frontman, lead guitarist, vocalist for the band I was in when I was a little bit younger. But now that Laguna Munta is his solo project, and he's been at that for a while. He's released 2 albums so far, Plugs Out and Chuck, and I recommend checking out both. Just type in Laguna Munta and you will find all his original rock and roll.
Nice, guys. Well, we're almost at the top of the hour, so we're going to try to wrap this up. I might actually be earlier than normal, but before we go, I wanted to give you guys both a chance to say any parting words and how people can reach you and anything else you want to go. So, Josh, I'll let you have the main screen and make you feel uncomfortable for a couple minutes. So go ahead and speak your mind, my friend.
Hi, I'm JP. I founded United Comics a few years ago. If you are unable to back NOIRLEM, make sure you follow me over on Twitter at United Comics. I'm Rain Radio on YouTube. I'd love to welcome you to my audience. We have a lot of fun every week. I post video essays, and I'd love you to come by and hang out and have a good time with us on our show. If you like eclectic, esoteric stories by somebody who just loves the medium and is always looking to get weird when it comes to storytelling and what can be done with it, I'm your guy, and welcome, and thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, my friend. All right. So let's go give the floor to Cody. And before we go from the show, there's been a little bit of chat here. Elliot says he already has all 3 issues of Jack Irons. So everybody's saying to give the digitals to Abo Grizzly. So if that's okay with you, Cody, we'll go ahead and hook Abo up with it. All right.
Readers are our background, please. And I hope you enjoy, Abo. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so Cody, I'll let you give the your parting words and tell us whatever we can do to help you.
All right. So I'm Cody Fernandez. As you've heard, I EIC kind of founder, marketer, whatever you want to call me, of Ironverse Comics. The best of the weird space west, as we like to say around here. It's an easy niche to conquer, but we're doing it anyway. If you enjoy thought pieces, if you enjoy excellent artwork, if you enjoy heart, you will struggle to find things that compete on those levels like our work. Jack has been a super important journey for myself, and I am so very grateful for anybody who takes the time to read it, is interested in it, engages with our work, and that's how we do what we're doing. You can find all the links, contact us on every bit of social media through ironversecomics.com at the contact section up top. But if you want to find me directly, at @Cowboy_Steel on Twitter is basically the main place where I do all of the work. Ironverse Comics on YouTube as well. I stream especially lately with this campaign, I've been streaming nearly daily, gameplay, comics talk, all kinds of different things. So sub to that if you're interested in more of my John, because that's primarily what you'll be getting. So I if you like it, that's where you can find it. And I'm just grateful for everyone's time, and thank you all so much. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Cody. Thanks, Josh. I'm gonna escort you guys back to the green room, and then I'm gonna say my parting words. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Just a second here.
All right, adios.
Adios, my friends.
Thanks, Don. Great to meet you.
All right, thanks, Josh. All right, guys. So that's gonna do it for us today. If you're not tired of this mug, you can catch me again tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm gonna be co-hosting. Guest co-host of the Dojo Kun Shill Shack, and he's going to have a pretty awesome show. I think Gabe El Taib is going to be on it, Andy Smith, and who's the guy that Jose Garcia. I think those are the three. There might be another one, but that's going to be the all-pro Dojo Kun Shill Shack show. So check that out. Next week, I have a show plan that's more animation oriented, and tentatively I'm going to have a gentleman named Stephen Wong on my show who's an animator for Pixar, and then our very own Pedro Ang will be on as well, talking about tropical magics. So that same bat channel, same bat time, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern time. So guys, thank you. I had a great show. It went by so quickly. God bless, stay safe. And we'll catch you guys next time on Comics and Coffee. All right. See you later.